I've been thinking about this illusion that we call success. And the reason that I called it an illusion is because it's not necessarily the exact thing as it poses to be. Because when we hear success, we think of fulfillment and happiness. But lately I've started to realize that the things that we tie success with are mostly external. And this leads us to not feeling totally fulfilled when we achieve this goal that we call success. Because more often than not, I find myself feeling unfulfilled after hitting a milestone, and questions start to linger in my head like, was that it? All that work you did and now it's done? It's over? And for a while I thought it was a problem with me, but the more I thought about it, the more I realized that it's how I framed the phrase success, how I framed what is defined by the word success. See, the problem is that we tend to associate the word success with external achievements like money, fame, titles, possessions, and we hope that it would bring us lasting fulfillment or happiness, because that's what we've been told. This society that we live in, they glorify these external achievements, and we've been told that these are the ultimate measures of success. But the more you think about it, the more you realize that the success that we've defined for ourselves is very shallow and fleeting in nature. And I think that when we tie success to things outside ourselves that are out of our control, it's like stuff like, validation by your peers, or validation by your friends, your family, or good, nice looking things, shiny objects, or reaching the next big goal or the next big stage of your job or whatever it is. All these external validations. Once we get there, it feels like it's not enough. It starts to feel like this is the new normal. What's next? I need more. And this is because as humans we are designed to adapt to the situation that we're in. You set a bar high and you work towards it, work hard day by day, week by week, month by month, or even years. And you finally achieve it, only to realize that in a couple of days the bar has moved even higher. Now, I'm not saying that that's necessarily a bad thing, but what I'm saying is, if you tie the definition of success to that bar, you'll never be successful. And I think I've heard of this phrase in psychology. It's called hedonic adaptation, I believe, which says that we tend to return to a baseline of happiness frequently, which basically means that when we get a feeling of happiness for that moment, that level of happiness becomes our baseline. So to be happier, you have to go past that baseline even more. And when you are even more happy, if you want to be happier, that bar has to go even higher. So it becomes a cycle with no ends. And you finally realize that you keep chasing happier, but you end up never getting to it because you never settle on the baseline for happiness. And in chasing this illusion of this bar that we set, that ties with success, we lose sight of what really matters, our values, our purpose of life, what truly aligns us, and what brings us inner peace. I was going through one of my books when I read a quote by Marcus Aurelius that said, "It takes very little to live a happy life, and it's all within yourself." And that made the perspective a whole lot clearer, because at that point I figured out that the reason that what I defined as success didn't bring me any happiness was because it was tied with so many external things. It was tied to a lot of comparisons that were external of who I am, that didn't belong to me. Like most of you guys, I had a bunch of favorite cars. You know, what we call a dream garage. And one day I was walking by and I saw this really cool looking Porsche. And I was like, ooh, that would be nice someday, maybe someday. And then I saw one of my favorite cars again, a G-Wagon. And I was like, yeah, that too. And it also backed up this thought that all these external possessions that I could get, but it wouldn't be enough to make me feel happy or fulfilled, because let's say you bought that Porsche, but what happens when they launch the next model of it, the newer model, which has better performance, it looks better and all that? Now you want that too. So that led me to kind of start focusing on success that's tied to my internal self, to who I am internally, deep down, not the shallow and surface level goals like money and possessions and jobs and stuff like that. So right now at this moment, if you ask me to define success, I wouldn't be able to put it into exact words, but it would lie around the boundaries of being content and fulfilled about my life and the journey that I've come through and the journey that I'm planning and that I'm directed to. Success to me is waking up excited to live the day and going back to sleep fulfilled about the day. And it takes a lot to achieve that, especially when you are trapped in a cycle that forces external validation upon you. But with practice, it is attainable. I believe it is. So ask yourself what success means to you. For some, it would be deep relationships. For some, it would be creative freedom, or something like making a positive impact on people or the society. Whatever it is, it just has to align with your values and align with who you are deep down. Because success should be within you, not outside of you. Success shouldn't be something you have to chase, but something you have to reach.